Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see several women talk about loneliness from the female perspective, marked by regret and confusion, to the male experience, which is often ignored by society. And to top it off, one woman even goes as far as saying she finds the average man repulsive. I want you to smash that like button and subscribe. We're on our way to 150,000 subscribers, and with your support, we're going to crush that goal. Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Your story could help another man going through the same thing. And without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, therapy is expensive and I need to express myself a little bit because I'm not having a great day and it's just the morning time in the beginning of the year. I was just reflecting a lot this morning and I just feel like a failure. I don't know how to not have this feeling, but I'm 26. I've never been in a relationship before. I didn't go to college, so I don't have like a career. I don't have jobs to apply for that are like bigger jobs, you know what I mean? I know how to drive, but I am terrified of driving in highways, so I don't really go out that much. I just feel so behind in life. I feel like I should be able to say that I accomplished more stuff that I have done, which isn't a lot again. And I needed to express this to someone because honestly, I just don't have anyone to talk about this. And today's a hard day. I wish I could come in here as I usually do and be positive all the time, but sometimes I just need to cry a little bit. And yes, I do record myself when I cry because I like talking to someone or the camera or feeling like I am talking to someone I don't even know. But I just feel so lost because I don't even know what I want to do. And I don't even know. I don't know anything. That's the thing. And today I feel sad and I feel down, very, very down. I hope I can look back on this video later on. Don't even know. And hopefully I will be in a much better place. I don't even know. I just...
I want you to take a good look at this so you can understand what modern feminism has cost. Whenever we hear about happy, single women, they always show us the successful ones, the career-driven, the travelers. But they never talk about cases like this young woman, 26 years old, no education, no career, no partner, no clear purpose in life. A woman who might have found meaning as a wife and mother, but society told her that wasn't enough. That choosing that path made her weak or submissive. And since any man who expresses a traditional opinion is immediately labeled a misogynist, many have stopped speaking out and stopped pursuing. The result? Men are stepping away from the game, and women like her end up feeling lost, empty, directionless. There's a lot of talk about the male loneliness epidemic, but no one mentions that female loneliness is just as bad, if not worse. Because while men tend to adapt to being alone, many women like her end up crying in front of a camera because they have no one to talk to. That, too, is a consequence of this modern narrative. And yes, brother, feminism doesn't empower them. It sends them straight to the wall.
You know, what gets me about the modern day situation between men and women is I don't think men understand how many of us were ready to settle. Let me repeat that. I don't think men understand how many of us were ready to settle due to growing up and idealizing love. Like, I would have settled for one good experience with a man because I didn't know any better. I would have thought that one good experience was above and beyond. And that's what we mean by like nice guys benefit off of the abuse of bad men, because one good experience would have been enough. One time where I wasn't cheated on or left in the dust or ridiculed or verbally and mentally abused or physically threatened. Just one guy to be kind. That's all it would have taken. And men fumbled that so fucking hard that now we have a male loneliness epidemic. I mean, like, the bar was in hell and men were limbo dancing with the devil and they still couldn't reach but then the disconnect came where women and like me, a lot of us, we started just wanting to grow ourselves. And I'll be honest, as a former pick-me, it started as like, well, maybe I'll get better and then a man will love me. And then it was kind of like, resigned of like, well, no man's gonna love me, so I might as well give it. But then I really, really did start to love myself. And then I went to therapy. And then I saw people on here like Drew. And Drew, I would take Drew's videos into therapy and I would, talk about a guy in the past. And then, now here I am 2 years after starting therapy. And I can confidently say I am disgusted by the average male's lack of everything.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Look at how bad things have gotten in our society. A woman who isn't attractive, who has no money, who has nothing to offer but complaints, saying with complete confidence that she finds the average man repulsive. Seriously? When 70 to 80% of men are average. But of course, it's always the man's fault. Then they blame us for the so-called male loneliness epidemic, when in reality, that epidemic was caused by the unrealistic standards they themselves imposed. Today, men are expected to meet the 666 of the apocalypse: 6 feet tall, six-pack abs, and a six-figure income. The 666 from hell. All of that just to settle for a woman who's a 2 in looks, has no financial stability, a history of 10 chads behind her, and carries herself like she's the prize. With that kind of attitude, it's no wonder men are choosing to focus on their goals, their careers, their purpose. Because if that's the market, it's better to build alone than pay such a high price for so little.
Just an overwhelming lack. They're just lacking in everything. And then I think back to, 2-3 years ago, who I was just begging for love, begging for one guy to be nice. And I just want to hold her and hug her. And that's now like why when like I have friends who still date and they'll be like, oh, he was so nice to me. And I'm like, bestie, I love you, but we got to remember that's the bare fucking minimum of someone liking you. If someone likes you, of course they're nice to you. I could not wrap my head around that before, like if he's so nice to me, that's such a big bonus. No, if he likes you, he's supposed to be nice to you. Like that's, I was sitting here thinking about the disconnect this one and just like how funny it is that women grew up. I mean, we grew up with Prince Charming. We grew up being told marriage is the end all be all, even though we are one of the first 2 or 3 generations to not have to depend on marriage. We still wanted marriage, and men fucked that up so bad. On another note, I'm curious as to when men started lacking. Because yes, there's been instances throughout history where they lack, but like you look at old school romances, man. Like there's like an artist who was so in love with his wife that he had her wet barefoot prints like installed on their carpet. I want to be someone's muse. I want that type of love. Or like the man it's like in Georgia who like built a castle for his queen, and after she died he still had all these paintings made of her and stuff. Bring back yearning. These men today think basic kindness is enough to install a relationship, and that's because we've been instilled to think that that's enough to install. Still to install. I think I'm fumbling words. But you know what I mean. They were allowed to get away with bare minimum because for some reason recently we've been like, oh, bare minimum, bare minimum. Anyway, now I'm just rambling, so I'm going to go now. Bye.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
In short, she wanted a man to solve her life while offering nothing in return. These are the same ones who demand equality, but only when it benefits them. If women are fully capable of supporting themselves, then why are we living in a generation where more and more women seek marriage as a form of financial security? Because they don't want to build with you. They want to show up when everything's already done. We're living in a time when more men than ever have lost their homes, half their assets, and even their peace of mind due to divorce. In a country where the divorce system openly favors women, and where 80% of breakups are initiated by them, what bothers many of them now is that men have woken up. We're no longer settling for women who don't respect, who don't care, who don't contribute. We're demanding real equality. If you're not going to work, then bring peace, affection, and stability. Because we're no longer willing to lose everything we've built for someone who thinks that just being a woman makes her the prize.
Women.
There is a male loneliness epidemic because you guys are not being truly honest with yourselves about the fact that y'all don't really like women. You like what we bring to the table. You like what and how we make you feel, but y'all don't actually like us. Women, we naturally pour into each other, give each other compliments, really celebrate all kinds of aspects of every part of a woman, even the dark part. But with men, we have to only show y'all the fucking sunshine, as if that's the only part that exists in us. It's not only light. Feminine energy is very dark. And a lot of the times we don't even get to share that aspect with you guys because y'all are emotional as fuck. Y'all don't know how to react when we share a part of ourselves that's not like what you look like, that the part that you're most comfortable with. And this is why men need to learn how to be a little bit feminine. That doesn't mean you're being gay. That's your problem. Being feminine, women are strong as fuck. So being feminine is, they act like it's a diss or something. Y'all have this shit misscrewed. And y'all really need to get it together or the epidemic will continue and matriarchy will return. The patriarchy is dying. It's dead.
There are things I don't understand either. We keep hearing about a male loneliness epidemic, but the data says otherwise. According to the CPSASEC 2022, there are 69.7 million single women and 62.6 million single men. That's 6 million more single women. And if we exclude LGBT groups from the count, that gap would be even wider. So how is it that men are the lonely ones when it's actually women who are more often without a partner? Simple. Many of them don't want to be wives. They want to be bosses. They want the home to adjust to their lifestyle, not the other way around. And men have noticed. Marriage has become a contract where only one side takes the risk and the other walks away with the reward if it all goes wrong. That's why a lot of men are no longer willing to get married or commit to a woman who doesn't bring respect or the desire to build something together. This isn't about hating women. It's about self-preservation, about not losing everything in a system that no longer protects men. The real issue isn't male loneliness. It's that many women no longer want to take on the role that once brought balance to the family. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Do you think there's a male loneliness epidemic? Why do you think more men today prefer solitude over marriage? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.